Hey, what's going on, guys? Just making sure I'm all set up here. I believe we're good to go this time. Hey, what's going on, Alex? Alright. I believe we're just about ready to go. Alright, so we had just made it to the Crusaders Camp after Act 1. I believe is where we left off. Now, I was thinking about this just before I started the stream, actually, but I forgot to pick up the last magic essence in the Grey Garrison while we were there. But if you had all 5, you could come talk to the storyteller here and give all of the magic essence plus that little trinket we found in the city to him, and he'll remake, I believe it's called the Symbol of the Inheritor or something like that, which is actually something that belonged to the Queen. And then if you have that, you can give it to her when you meet her here shortly in the command tent, which is what we're about to go do. But we can still give him the elven notes we picked up that he asked for. And if we ask him if he's coming with us, he'll explain that he's not coming with the crusade, he's just kind of here right at the beginning. And then from here we are pretty much free to explore the camp. Irabeth is supposed to show us around, but it's divided up into like 4 little enclaves, if you will, and then your companions will just kind of be spread out around the place. And the merchants are usually all right here. Now you can have the regular quartermaster, of course, which is nice. Sir Garms, I believe it is, yeah. So he's just the regular quartermaster, but he'll have a ton of magic stuff and basically anything you might want to buy for Act 2. But in addition, if you have Woljif with you, not right this second because we actually have to do the stuff with the Queen first, but Orgus Gwyrm as well as Woljif there will actually have other items to sell you as well, provided they came along and or made it. And beyond that, that's pretty much the camp. They give you a little optional objective. And here's the little theater troupe we saved in Canabris as well. And then they are trying to figure out how, like, who is going to play you in their little theater play about you. So you can kind of make some suggestions. But once we're done going around, all we have to do is head to the actual main tent. Now, Dayran, at the end of Act 1, is actually expressing his intent to leave the Crusade, but we'll sort that out here in a bit. So we are going to head to the Commander's tent, where the Queen is waiting for us. Antonio says he pre-ordered, but he's still watching the stream, so I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Alright, so all we gotta do is talk to Queen Galfrey here.
Commander, I'm satisfied with the troop review, but I do not expect they will be sufficient for the task. You will have to prove yourself a shrewd leader and hire the necessary troops with the provided funds. I have chosen a target for your campaign, and that target is Dresden, our lost outpost within the worldwound. The Sword of Valor was kept there, a banner that was once carried by Iomedae herself. Our greatest relic was lost when the city fell. I should make one thing clear from the start. The Sword of Valor is no mere symbol, but a powerful weapon against demons. The holiness of the banner weakens them and robs them of one of their most dangerous abilities, teleportation. A forced march to Dresden awaits you. The Sword of Valor is kept somewhere within the Citadel. The demons probably think it's a hunting trophy. Its recovery is just as important as retaking the city itself. I hope the task is clear. I'm sending 2 specialists to help you, along with the soldiers. A historian, Nura Denduar, and a cleric, Soziul Bainik. One of the famous inquisitors of the Church of Iomedae also wants to talk to you. The Honorable Leota, whom everyone calls Hawkblade.
I do not wish to keep you, Commander. The matter I must discuss with you is extremely important, but it is not directly related to the Crusade. You no doubt wish to meet your new comrades and speak with Her Majesty. Therefore, I shall leave you now, but I ask that you seek me out in the camp at your earliest convenience.
Hi! Listen, it's amazing here. It's like I'm in a ballad. There's knights in shining armor, deadly dangers, glorious feats. We are going to show those demons! I'm so tired of sitting in a library reading books about history. It's time I took part in it!
I'm glad to help our cause, Commander. If you have some time later, I'd like to speak with you further.
You'll have plenty of time to talk. You're the Knight Commander's people now, his trusted advisors and companions. Now then, will you please leave us? Irabeth, you can go too.
Okay, and now we have a chance to ask some questions. For instance, why she's making us commander of this crusade.
Some actions may be deemed bold, or even extreme. And beyond those, there are some you might call the Queen's last resort. I am not a simple monarch. I am at war with the Abyss, a war which has lasted over 100 years. I cannot allow myself the luxury of caution. In you, I see a chance, and I am willing to stake everything on it. However, you cannot blame me for putting you in charge of the Crusade. I only formalized what had already happened in the hearts and minds of many. People spoke of the power that descended upon you and helped you save the Wardstones from corruption and total destruction. Word of this feat quickly spread far beyond the borders of Mendev. There was no other person who could better fit the role of Knight Commander of the Fifth Crusade.
Okay, and then from here we can ask some questions about trying to retake Dresden.
Of course, I shall answer. That's a good question. Its walls were built by dwarf craftsmen, and the power of the Sword of Valor protected the city. Alas, where raging hordes failed, a single lying tongue was all they needed to succeed. The demoness Minago convinced a young and ambitious crusader named Staunton Vane that the banner belonged on the battlefield. He went on a daring and unapproved raid, and the banner ended up in the enemy's hands. The city fell soon after. Ever since then, for 7 decades, it has served as a citadel for the forces of the Abyss. Oh, really? I wasn't informed of this. After Dresden fell because of Staunton, he was nearly sentenced to death. I commuted Staunton's sentence and stripped him of his rank. Not just for him, but for my army and my country. We are not Hell Knights. We do not maintain discipline with public executions.
So, regardless of whether or not you agree
The
with
past
her.
is given to us to learn from, and to avoid making the same mistakes. But you're right about one thing. I am sure we shall hear more from this twice-turned traitor.
That's kind of the information about Dresden and how it fell because of Staunton, the guy from Act 1 who wound up betraying us at the very, very end there. And then we can talk about forces since we have no idea yet.
Everyone we saw today at the parade. First among them, the Eagle Watch, who remain a powerful force thanks to Irabeth's resourcefulness. Also marching with you are several minor knightly orders, as the minor volunteer units like to be called. And finally, I have personally selected some recruits from Neurosian. They have little in the way of battle experience, but great determination and a thirst to prove themselves. I've always thought that an army benefits from at least one such unit. These forces, as I said, are not enough for a march on Dresden. You will have to hire additional troops with the funds that have been provided to you. But for a brave commander, and I hope you are one, that is just the beginning. If you retake Dresden, recover the holy power of the Sword of Valor, and gain a foothold in the region, then new armies will join under your banner. The Fifth Crusade is only beginning. Many battles and victories lie ahead.
But that's kind of the
Wonderful.
general outline of what we're trying to do. We can also ask or explain about the visions beneath Canabris and the light of heaven and all that kind of stuff that we've seen.
Lariel. I knew him. He disappeared shortly before the worldwound grew, and Dresden fell into the enemy's hands. In the chaos, we had more important concerns than investigating the fate of a single angel. Even one so righteous and beloved as Lariel. And afterward, matters took a turn for the worse. The angels left us to go on this special mission. It is so strange to hear the names I used to hear when I was young, like getting a message from the past. It is sad news, but it brings me back to the times when we strongly believed in our victory, and we rushed headlong toward it without fear. Could it be that such times have come again?
Okay, and then from there we can ask if she knew about the angels in heaven being confined to the Wardstone.
Just as much. Many angels fought alongside us in the First Crusade. Heaven was unable to mobilize its full might to aid us, but individual celestials volunteered to fight for our cause. Then one day, they all vanished, saying that they were setting off on an important mission. Not long after, Iomede's herald erected the first wardstone in Canopris, and then the others in cities across Mendev. Even back then, I had nagging doubts, but my faith in Iomede easily assuaged them. It is for us to serve the goddess after all, not to question her works. In any case, I am glad you did not allow the demons to commit sacrilege and gain control over the wardstone in Canopris. We might have lost one of the wardstones, but the chain is still standing.
And then last but not least, we can ask what she's going to be up to.
Overlooking a spot of insubordination just at the moment. However, I shall answer you. I shall prepare the defenses at Nerosian and all the other border cities and plan the future of the Fifth Crusade. Does that satisfy your curiosity, Knight Commander?
Now we can also use these paths to ask her to stick with us through the second act, which if I'm not 100% sure because I don't have access to everything, obviously, but I believe this is part of romancing her for sure. And by for sure, I mean maybe.
It's been a long time since anyone tried to talk to me quite like that. Like an interrogator at a trial. I don't know if you realize what you're suggesting. If our enemies in the depths of the wound were to discover that I was with your army, they would immediately send their most vicious demons to attack. They would stop at nothing to be rid of me, and thereby sow chaos across Mendev. But you are right. I shouldn't be sitting it out in the rear. I am a warrior queen, and a queen of warriors. Yet my fighters have forgotten what I look like. Fine. I shall join the crusade, but on my own terms. First, I shall assemble my entourage and lead the parade out of the camp. I shall catch up with you later, along with a few hand-picked bodyguards. We'll change our armor, and I'll become a knight of a minor order and join the troops incognito. Until we approach Dresden, no one should know I am among you. But before we storm the city, I shall show myself to the troops and join the battle. Let it be a surprise for the demons. I hope you won't complain of my company on the road, Commander, since you were the one who insisted upon it. Do you have any other questions? Splendid. Ah, yes. We have one final matter to attend to. It should be rather enjoyable. Count, there you are. You received my instruction?
I did, though I did not have time to read the thing before I was dragged before your majesty. In truth, I was readying myself to depart.
No matter. I trust you will forgive your sovereign for the rather brusque summons, especially when you learn what prompted it. As you are aware, he has recently been appointed my Knight Commander of the Fifth Crusade. I spent a long while pondering whom to appoint to the highly sensitive post of Commander's Field Attaché and Advisor Plenipotentiary without portfolio. Congratulations, Count.
It is a great honor, I suppose.
I knew you would approve, Commander. I had my doubts about whether you were ready for such a responsibility, Count, but your conduct in Kenobris has put my mind at ease. So, you will travel with the troops to Dresden. Only the commander may remove you from your post. But I trust that you will dutifully fulfill his orders and make a good showing of yourself. Especially since word of your appointment, Count, will reach the court at any moment. All of Mendev's nobility will be following your successes in service to the nation, including all of your devoted admirers. I even heard that one bard with whom you are particularly friendly has already begun composing a ballad to honor your heroic participation in the crusade and your faithful service to the commander here.
Your largesse truly knows no bounds, dear cousin. I am most gratified by the honor you have shown me.
Then let's get going. May Iyomade help us.
Okay, a lot of dialogue there. But, let me get caught up on chat real quick. Updating equipment thing is annoying. So... Sword asked what's different with the new update. Mostly just a lot of UI updates, tiny stuff. They removed a lot of placeholders, that kind of thing. They added like a few new archetypes as well, that kind of stuff. Whereas asks, I wonder if the game adds some bits from the player in Kingmaker. I think they only ever refer to that as the Stolen Lands, or at least the characters that have been there. They don't really go into like any great detail. Yahweh asks, how do you access the beta? I think you had to pay separately for the beta, like separate of the pre-orders, and at this point I wouldn't recommend it with how close it is to launch anyway. And then Alexander Bajev, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, says, hey, love your work, super happy to find the channel with so many great videos on isometric RPGs, and he donated €5, so thank you tremendously, honestly, huge thanks. Alright, so with that very lengthy dialogue out of the way, we can head back outside. And this is where we're going to have a good chance to talk to all of our companions. So for right now, though, first things first, we can talk to this mysterious elf. We're going to find her around camp here and there. That is part of that backer-made quest from the first act that I was talking about with the drow and everything. And then Woljif, if you talk to him, if he's with you, he will actually have some unique items and stuff to sell you, as his thiefling contacts have provided him with, which is kind of something I figured would be fun to mention there. And then Horgus Gwyrm, if he made it with you, I believe also... Yeah, no, okay. For some reason I was thinking he sold stuff. Might have just been thinking of Wilsir Garms there, though.
If you dare.
Okay, so... Liator here wanted to talk to us before we started talking with the Queen, so we can talk about him. Now, he's going to tell us that he is with the Inquisitors of Iyomade, and that he is looking into the mysterious circumstances revolving around the death of Dayran's family. And this apparently happened at their estate called Heaven's Edge. And he would like to privately investigate the matter again. And if you get invited there, he basically just wants you to help him out with that investigation. But we won't be able to do that for a little bit yet. We can talk to Sela, because she had a quest with her friends.
Hello. So, what do you reckon about it? Watching?
somehow, it really happened.
Which I think we just have to take her there, so no big deal there. So we can talk to Dayran to get that invitation, but we can't go there yet anyway. And then we can talk to Irabeth about that scabbard of hers that we found. So, by the way, good time to mention, all the quests that have these little red hourglasses next to them, those are quests that have to be completed by this chapter that you're on. So anytime you see those red hourglasses, you need to complete those quests before the end of your chapter, or they fail automatically because you passed the point at which you could have done them. And then we'll talk to Irabeth about her scabbard. So we can give her some money to help get some more troops in. And then go talk to our new companion, Soseal, if he's over here somewhere, I believe. Check the map. I honestly don't remember where he's at. Yeah, there he is. He should have a quest for us as well. He is a cleric of Shaylin.
Hello again. I'm very pleased to meet you. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me. It's a pity I wasn't there at the Grey Garrison to witness your feats of strength with my own eyes. The flash, however, could be seen miles and miles away. Some people were frightened of it, thinking that the demons had blown up the remains of the keep. I, for one, knew immediately that it was a good sign. The light above the city showed us that there was still hope. Yes, I have a personal request. Before we undertake our journey and leave Canabris behind, I would like to visit Martyr Zacharias' cemetery for a funeral. It's not far from here, and it's important. I would like to pay my respects to my friends from the Temple of Shaylin who died defending the city. Also, if it's not too much trouble, I would like you to come with me to honor their memory. Their friends and family will be at the funeral, and perhaps the commander's personal presence will bring them comfort. I know that you are burdened by many cares right now, so I understand if you can't find the time. But if you could, I would be sincerely grateful. My name is Soziel Vanek. I am a cleric of Shaylin, the Eternal Rose, and I have no doubt that we will win this war. You must be rather busy.
So, first things first, we're gonna rest because
I do what I
Act
must.
2, you can pretty much rest and stuff as much as you need to. There's no real timer on anything. Generally speaking, anyway. And then we can actually exit the camp from the tent, which is nice. Alright, so we're gonna drop Woljif for Soseal for the moment. Woljif's pretty good, but for reasons that I'll get into later, I'd rather not have him with me in Act 2. I don't know that we'll get to it in this stream, but there is a reason. For starters, we need to do his quest, which is over here. And then we also need to actually get him equipped with something. Well, I should pick up protection from evil. And for that, Ember's got a bunch of healing spells, so I think we'll give him Summon Monster just for fun. And then we don't don't really need to spell magic right this second, and then we also have a ton of prayer ones. We'll drop both of those, grab animate dead, because that's always fun. Actually, I think I'll just give him 2 animate deads. That'll be nice and easy. Alright. And then for his mythic ability, I don't know what I want to do with him yet, so we're not going to do that just yet. But right now he's got a glaive, so that kind of stuff is really what he goes for. I think we can do better than the scale mail he's got on for sure, too. I'll give that not nearly enough. Yeah, 17. Compared to... Okay. Sweet. Braces of armor I don't think are going to be any good for him. Yeah. And then we'll give that amulet of the blackened mirror to her. Or also give her those braces of armor, because when she's not having mage armor up, she can make use of the little bit of armor that gives. And I think that's going to do it for right this second. I think we'll give him Domain Zealot. That seems like a good, easy way to do it. Okay. So what we technically need to do right this second is move our armies forward, which is done by clicking this tab, and that'll give you access to the actual armor. And then, where is... They moved all this dialogue around on me, so I'm not super familiar with where everything is all the time. It's just stats and stuff. Yeah, there's the recruit button. Okay, and then here's all the guys we can recruit right at the beginning. You'll get plus however many a week. We'll go ahead and recruit everybody we can right off the bat. Then we'll take that army, move them up with our other army. And we will assign a general to them, I think. I don't know if this is still how it works at the moment, but I know there used to be a bug where you actually would just get however many points for the finance stuff you wanted. Oh, I don't know if it was a bug necessarily, it was just for the beta actually. But beyond that, all we need to do really is move our army forward. Because as you might imagine, the first battle is pretty straightforward. So you'll have this like little initial thing. This is just like a simulation of what might happen if you attack that army with your army. And if you find it fine, because we only lost 2 footmen there, you can just hit accept, or you can hit fight the battle, which brings you to that like might and magic thing, which I'm going to do just to show you guys. Because in theory, you might be able to fight it better than the simulation did. So there we didn't lose any footmen, for instance. Not wanting to let me... There we go. They moved the UI and everything around with this latest update, so I'm still getting used to it. But we can recruit a general, which costs finance points, of course, like all the other ones do. And I think we'll go with this Kitsune. So that'll let you use like abilities and stuff for them. beyond that, we are going to head to Social's companion quest first. So we're attending a funeral here, saying some nice words, or rude words if you want. And then, naturally, we get attacked by undead because we're in a cemetery, and that is what happens. So all the people that were here with us run off because they were attacked, and then we're left to fight a bunch of zombies. I gotta tell you, I do not remember there being that many on this initial wave. Alright, so according to Social here, there is a cultist nearby desecrating all these people that died just recently. And our job now is to get that sorted out. And also, we just leveled up.
Search for the beauty.
Alright, so we're going to use him to heal everybody up with his channel positive energy, which is one of the best parts about having a cleric, to be honest, in my opinion.
I'll take care of
Let's
it.
get everybody leveled up real quick. So, I think all we need for duelist, yeah, so we are good as far as duelist things go, so we just have to level up our Sword Saint until he has a high enough base attack bonus to become a duelist. And then for our Magus Arcana, I think we'll get Prescient attack. And we can pick up some spells. I think we'll grab Web and Invisibility. Always try to set those spells right as I get them. If I do, that way I don't forget about it. That said, we're only doing a little bit of casting with him at the moment. I would need to hire, I believe it's Wisdom or Charisma offhand, to get more spells to be useful. But we're not using a ton of spells on this guy anyway, so that's fine. Alright, gonna keep her going with Paladin, just because I can, and it's easy. We'll give her probably Sickened, that comes up a lot. For her Lay on Hands Mercy. And Camila doesn't get anything interesting that level. I thought she got spells or something that level, but we will check it out. Moon Dragon donated currency I'm not familiar with. But I love your VG2 and Pathfinder videos. Keep it up. Thank you, man. I'm glad you enjoyed them. Alright, so what was I doing? Alright, Camilla. Yeah, so she got a couple extra spell slots. We'll give her a restoration spell. Swedish currency. Nice, good to know. That is kind of one of the cooler things about being on YouTube is just kind of seeing like audience members and stuff from all sorts of different countries. Like that's really cool to me. Alright, for Winda Oog, I think we will pick up... I think Barkskin actually might be a good way to go for her.
I am yours to command.
Is restless.
And finally,
I
Ember.
wonder why.
Keep with magic device now. Okay, and then she gets another hex, which I am terrible about using, to be honest. Yeah, we'll go Aura of Purity though. That'll be super useful if we get in a fight with anything that has a bunch of poison effects. And then we get to pick up some spells for her. Which I think I will grab. I'd say electricity damage, but she does fire primarily, and we're about to fight a bunch of demons that are going to be immune to this. And her ascended element I picked was fire. I'm pretty sure I could pick it again for lightning, but I don't really feel like doing that. So I think I'm going to pick up remove. Well, no, I've already got two who can cast remove blindness and remove curse. I think we'll just pick up cure wounds then. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's move on. So in this initial little area, there's a mobility check right here for some items.
What a failure. That was easy.
We can sell all that junk.
Ha! A trivial task.
And then over here, we can talk to a zombie having an existential crisis.
I hope you appreciate this.
So this unquiet dead is unaware that it's dead. And we can explain that it is in fact dead. And then we can convince it to just die. And she'll give us some jewelry.
Begone, fiend!
The initial fight here had so many more zombies than I remember there being. Because from here, I think we only have to kill a couple here and there. Oh, hold on.
I will bring down the divine wrath!
Into the fray!
Ah, no, okay, there's a bunch more.
I can still fight.
He went down before I could cast positive energy. That sucks. Everybody else is doing okay though. Given that he's a cleric, I was going to cast positive energy and just damage all of them at once, but he went down before I could cast it.
Protects us.
Yes?
So, Freyja explains that... I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, I'm terrible with pronunciations. I discovered the existence of Wrath of the Righteous only a few days ago because YouTube recommended one of your videos, and then I've been absorbing all the info since then. Yeah, I think it's pretty great myself, obviously. I've been having a ton of fun with it. The nice thing is, I made, like, without exaggerating, I think close to 100 videos about it. Just all the classes and stuff, and then a lot of general information about all the updates and everything. And because of that, with us being so close to release, I'm actually noticing a huge uptick in people finding my content through searches and everything. which, as you might imagine,
Together we stand.
has led to a lot of the subscriber increases that I've been seeing here lately. I think we actually recently just turned 16K like yesterday or the day before. Alright, so there's some more zombies there.
Trust in yourself. Go save the last one for me.
Oh man, this archer brutalized him.
Oh, could this happen?
This is how it feels.
Man, those archers kicked my ass, jeez.
This will leave a bruise.
I might lose it because of these archers. Jesus. Oh yeah, for sure. We're definitely going down here.
No.
Brutal. I do not remember there being nearly as many enemies here. We will get it sorted out. Might have to actually start saving there.
This will
Okay.
be quick.
Trying to get everybody sorted out here. And then I think that'll just about do it. Don't really want to waste prayer just yet.
I can still fight.
I'm sorry I have to do this.
Alright, so Seal went down there, but that's not a big deal. We're pretty much done with it. Alright. So, when we get to that next big fight, I'm going to have to use some of our summons. Turn the odds a little bit. Level everybody up real quick again. to answer Star-Lord Stark's question, not that I'm aware of. Or at least not as like companions and stuff, you know. Late game, I'm not really sure, because I only have access to about half of it through the beta. So if they come up in later acts, I am not 100% sure either way. Okay.
What's on your mind? I wonder.
This war must end.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I heed the voice of the spirits.
One more heal on him, and then we'll be good to go. Then we will save right before that fight next time. Those archers just destroyed me. But I'm thinking if we use Animate Dead a couple times, it might help us out. I don't know why nobody actually used it.
Am I not?
Mobility check.
I hope you appreciate this.
All right.
We do it my way.
I will kill
I won't
this
let
one.
you hit my friends.
And this is where they started being more numerous.
Only you deserve my obedience. They'll beg me
Save
to
the last
stop.
one for me.
Throw a molten orb over here, that might help us out.
A mere flesh.
Or not, at least she's still feeling it. That's alright. Alright, sweet.
No reason to
Get
pause.
everybody healed up here, and yeah.
I will lend you my aid.
Soot is restless. I wonder why.
Yes.
I'll watch your back.
Yes.
Okay, now we're gonna inch a little closer, and then we're gonna use Animate Dead here.
Open your heart to me.
Ah, test of my abilities.
This will leave a bruise. No match for me. I'll just sit here. Don't worry about me.
Got kind of ragdolled up in the corner there. Looks like they were having problems with some pathing on those stairs.
Oh, happened.
Ouch! I'll cut you wide open.
Continue fighting, everyone.
Jeez. But we won.
world has suffered enough.
And then our cultist is just right inside the old church building here. I honestly don't remember how many are in here. Okay, well, I hope it cuts forward a little bit. Okay, there we go.
We won't fall here. I swear it.
The only wizard we've got is Ninio, and you could. I don't have her set up for anything, though, at the moment. We'll use her other animate dead. So this is probably going to go down pretty quick because he insisted on running right up there. But see if we can't get a prayer off of him first.
I need your assistance. I failed you.
No mercy for the wicked.
And then Sociel confronts our necromancer. Someone he knows, actually. Now, according to this, Sociel's religion doesn't allow him to kill anybody, which doesn't make a lot of sense for a cleric that is actively fighting demons, but I'm going to assume he means humans, but even then, demons use humans as servants, so... Nonetheless... You can choose to kill him, which I think is the right thing to do. But for Sociel, it's a big deal. And then we are free to leave, which I believe is over here. Yeah. This is just normal. Somebody asked what difficulty I was playing at. And then we will rest in our hub area. And then we will go do Sela's quest, which is not super combat heavy by any means. Just press R in camp and you can go to rest. Alright. And then we can get back to it. Alright, and Sela's quest is over here, and then we will keep our armies moving. Josh Johnson asked, Mythic class yet? Not yet, that won't come up for a little while. Now, right as you go forward of the initial Crusader camp, you'll have this little text event basically about addressing the soldiers and either going with them or boosting their morale, which I think morale is the check we have the closest to. And we still managed to fail it, despite only needing to roll a 4. But then we can come up here to Sela's quest. Okay. So for Sela's thing, it's a lot easier. There's some good loot around here, which I highly recommend you pay attention to and grab. But in terms of actual combat, there's only like one enemy, I think, to fight here. Well, no, a couple actually. But it's not nearly as combat heavy as Sociel's just was. And if you don't remember, we're here helping her friend Elan find a ring he lost outside of town. So all we really have to do here is help him search the camp.
Is that a trap? It might be a trap.
And before we do that, we're going to go around and gather up some loot.
What's that?
So this does not have an actual placeholder yet, but it is a head slot. It looks like it is for bards. Pretty good for a bard too. Alright,
A trivial task.
Out of the metal ring, that's something we can give to the storyteller. Now this chest right here is actually what we need to click on, so we're going to leave that alone for a second and loot the rest of the place. Now the only thing I wouldn't recommend searching is this tent over here. That one, it'll smell faintly of smoke, and then you'll be attacked by a couple brimmeracks, and brimmeracks are not a good time at this level.
I am helpful, am I not?
But
Impossible!
if we pass this athletics check here, or
Impossible!
mobility or whatever it is, yeah,
Ha! A trivial task.
we can get down into this little area, and in here
See something over there.
we can find this heavy shield, which we can give to Tslm, because it is a divine protector, which is going to be better than any shield she has. And then we can do this part.
Not this time.
So this closet here has the ring, and we need to chase it around. We can't actually catch it, we just need to chase it for the moment. And then we get this little scripted event where I believe Karl manages to take the ring. Yes. And then we see Elan try to kill Karl, but Tslm blocks the blow. And then Karl teleports out. Tslm asks, what is he trying to do, attacking a friend? And then Elan points out that he was trying to summon demons. And then Janna takes off, and we're forced to fight these demons.
You'll make a fine trophy.
The world in crimson!
Which isn't too bad, you just have to be careful, so they can do sneak attack damage.
I still got it. Could this happen?
Yeah, our main character there took a decent sneak attack right at the start of it. So here, Elon explains that he doesn't feel like we've been following the natural hierarchy of things recently, and that it's going to cause us some problems if we keep doing that without the experiences that would lead someone to leadership, basically. And you can just be like, well, we're just doing our best in the situation. And unfortunately, Elan moves on without his ring there, and Karl has officially betrayed his friends, which means Sela's in a bit of a rough place because all of her friends were pretty much torn apart by this small little incident we just witnessed. But whenever we're ready, we can take off. And we'll use some of these many healing potions we've got. Yahweh Soldier asks, so I was wondering what advice you would have for a newer player to this and Kingmaker. I just uninstalled Kingmaker due to getting destroyed, and all 3 quests seem to have the same outcome. I'm going to give Wrath the Righteous my all and learn every aspect of it. I really want to learn how to play Kingmaker and stuff. So as another viewer commented there, the best thing to do, honestly, is just turn the difficulty down until you get the hang of the system. That would be really the best way to go. I would start on I probably wouldn't go straight for story mode if you're actually trying to learn the mechanics, but I would definitely start on easy or something like that, so that way you don't get wrecked by a swarm that's immune to weapon damage because you don't know what kind of spells you need, that kind of stuff. So that's where I would start, is just crank the difficulty down and then start slowly working your way back up the difficulties. That's usually how I approach those kinds of things. Because honestly, just knowing what you're fighting goes a long way. And then, in addition to that, there's actually a lot of great advice on websites like the Archives of Nethys, for instance, that have a ton of Pathfinder knowledge, just in general. So that'll help you with enemy types, all that stuff. So, as an example, if you're coming up against a certain type of enemy that might have an immunity, that's a good way to look that information up outside of the actual game. Which, while not an ideal way, if you're dedicated to playing the game and figuring it out, it's kind of necessary, especially with a game like Kingmaker that does not do a great job of explaining those things for you. That would be my advice. But with that out of the way, let's move on. Okay, so from here, we can move everywhere that isn't blocked by one of these little buildings on the map. We can just, as our characters, move past these demon armies. However, we can't move past this fort, and this is the next big thing we need to attack, which shouldn't be a big deal. We don't have anybody else to recruit anyway. But we're going to move our army forward and try to take that. That Conundrum Unsolved location that just popped up, that is a puzzle. I have not completely figured it out yet. I honestly haven't looked it up either, so I don't know if anybody else has. But it has to do with these tiles you're going to find around the game. Because when you go in there, it's just a one-room little mini-map that has a bunch of open tiles that you can put other tiles into that you can find throughout the world. So there's a little sneak preview of whatever's in the Conundrum Unsolved for you. Now, all of these armies, these 2 and 3s and the 4s, I would not mess with those guys at all. For Act 2, you mostly want to stay on the rails as much as possible with your armies, because they like to block you by putting really strong armies in your way. But our first goal is to fight these people, which hopefully should not be a big deal. We'll save it just in case we lose horribly. Oh, nice. Yeah, so we didn't lose anybody. We killed everyone, lost 2, but they were replenished at the infirmary after the battle. So that is a perfect outcome for us. Now, as this pop-up will tell us, our camp throughout Act 2 moves around as we progress forward. So that's something to keep in mind. But that is the first step, is destroying that right there, that garrison, if you will. And then there's actually some other stuff over here, but I wouldn't really recommend messing around with it right now, because a lot of that stuff's outside the scope of our level, at least at the beginning of Act 2. Towards the end of Act 2, you probably have a better time with it. But we'll switch back to our actual characters and continue on. We are fatigued, but we will try to get to camp before we rest. But there's someone on the road. Offhand, I don't remember. Oh no.
I do what I must.
I'm gonna see if it'll let me rest before I do this. This fight is annoying and I don't like to not be in a good way.
Your face was made to be painted.
Thank you.
Alright, so talk to these guys and be immediately suspicious.
You're a good person. I like you.
Yes.
She has bracers of armor on, which does not stack with mage armor. That's why you'll see that little exclamation point there, but we keep the bracers on her just because everyone else wears armor, which means the bracers are useless. And if we get caught without mage armor, she'll at least have better than literally nothing. But beyond that...
My skills are absolute.
Got a shield on our guy.
You can trust me.
Where do you want me?
Go ahead and cast Bark Skin on her. And then we'll move forward. Okay, so these people will recognize us as the commander, and if we pass some checks potentially, which would have to roll roughly an 11 on both, I believe, yeah, 11 on both, to pass either of them. Failed it. Failed it. That said, obviously I already know the outcome of this if you couldn't tell. So what we are gonna do is go ahead and perform an evil action, since my character's lawful evil anyway, and point out the fact that they are obviously not who they say they are. And then they try to attack us with all of their buddies. And, interestingly enough, they point out that they managed to fool Sila's ability as a paladin to see evil, or detect evil, rather. So, interesting.
To battle,
then we
my
have to
friends.
Who knows that archer up there? We're gonna have... It's worth mentioning, by the way, we're being attacked by Drow. I believe this has to do with the backer quest as well, because that kind of revolves around Drow. Socio. Scoot everybody up real quick. Same thing with you. Window. You're gonna have you cast Hurricane Bow. Gonna have her cast her big cure on our main guy. Window's gonna switch to attacking that Magus. I believe everybody else is okay.
Be gone, fiend!
Camilla can double back on that Magus. Yeah, there we go. And then I got 2 more Knife Masters right here. And unfortunately, Ember was not able to catch up to our main guy to heal him before he took damage, so that's kind of annoying. But, whatever. These ragdoll physics just really make me laugh sometimes. That guy went flying all the way over there just from a melee hit. My cat's meowing in the background. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not. Now these guys will have some pretty good stuff on them, so you want to remember to loot their corpses. They got a bunch of +1 bows. And that's pretty much all we can grab from there. I don't remember if their bags have anything good or not. Besides a little bit of gold. then we are free to leave. Provided I can remember where the exit is.
I'm gone.
There it is. Alright. So our main character went down there because he got sneak attacked by one of those knife masters before Ember could actually heal him. But we're headed to camp anyway, which is where we can drop that status off, so shouldn't be too big of a deal. Now this is where we have this scripted encounter here. So we have somebody who just kind of came to give us a message, and they're in rough shape. It is somebody named Yaker. Explains they were ambushed beyond the river, and we can basically be like, gonna have to give us some actual information here, buddy. So he is Yanker and Kel, Hell Knight of the Order of the God Claw, under the command of Paralictor Regal Deringe. Assume I'm pronouncing that right. I have never had any idea. They are under attack by demons far surpassing their own numbers, and without our assistance, they are gonna die. However, we have several paladins with us, and as you might imagine, they are not fans of Hell Knights. So we can ask who's attacking them. Yeah, like my cat is like right at my feet, guys. Sorry if you hear her meowing. Alright, so they are being attacked by Vrox, which are flying demons. And then you can ask and decide whether or not to help, though I would recommend helping them, because you need to recruit more forces to retake Dresden, and Hell Knights are great for that. And also we get one of our potential companions by doing this. So highly recommended that you do it. Now we are going to rest, because I have a death's door condition. And then we can get to moving on. That said, I think we need to talk to Sela, yeah. I need to talk to Sela and Dayran real quick, and then we will carry on with our adventure. And this fellow will tell you that the queen who we requested to come with us is now officially in camp incognito. And we can go talk to her over here. And this will give you more options to learn about the queen. So we can ask why she sent Dayran with us, which was really just to hassle him. Because if Dayran turned her appointment down, he would look foolish in front of all his rich noble friends. So he's kind of stuck in doing it unless you kick him out. And then you can just ask her questions and stuff if you want. Kind of adds to the story a little bit, but nothing too crazy.
Yes.
Alright, and then we can see Ember helping out a Crusader, and we can ask her about it and stuff. They kind of look at her as a healer of sorts at the moment. That kind of evolves into stuff later on. And you can either discourage it and be evil, or just be like, yeah, whatever helps out. But Sela is over here.
We do it.
And we can talk to her about the events with Elon and her friends and stuff. At least she's normally over here. Where is she? Ah. Walked right by her. Yeah, there she is. She explains that it looks like Janet didn't just run away from that fight. It looks like she just straight up deserted. And Sela feels bad about dragging us into it, and also feels bad that her friends and stuff have done. But you can basically just kind of advise her. You know, obviously she wasn't keeping great company, all things considered, but it happens to the best of people. And then we can talk to Dayran. We actually have to talk to him to get his quest started. He'll invite us to his little birthday party thing, which is part of his first quest. And yeah, once he gives us the invitation, we can go do it. I wouldn't recommend doing that one until the end of the act, though. Not because itself is like combat-wise or anything. Getting to it can be a bit of a pain. But the actual quest itself isn't like combat-related or anything. Josh Johnson says, would you rather play evil, good, or neutral? Strictly from role-playing, I usually find evil to be the most interesting. Just because it's so contrary to what I as a person would actually do. Because, like, you know, obviously in the actual life, I'm going to try to help people as much as I can. And given that I'm playing a video game, and you can just be ridiculously evil, I find stuff like that to be funny. So that's personally what I like to do. That said, oftentimes in these games, I find myself doing whatever is the most useful at the time. So, like, if I know doing a good action leads to a better outcome, a lot of times I can't stop myself from doing those things, even when I know it's not role-playing my character at all. But Dayran's quest is all the way up here, which actually requires us to go all through here, and then the place across the river here is actually like right here-ish. That'll actually lead us to Heaven's Edge, where his thing takes place. But it's a little later. Oh my goodness. This is my cat, guys. Our thing with the Hell Knights, we have to go to the Reliable Redemptor. But first, we have to get through this garrison. So we're going to see if we can... Still can't recruit anybody here just yet because a week hasn't passed. But our morale's in pretty good shape. We would probably be okay taking this on. I don't know exactly what's there. Just a couple gargoyles. Gargoyles have more health. We'll just have to see how it goes. And then, yeah, so defeat there. We lost everybody and they only lost about half, so that checks out. That's kind of what I figured. We will reload that because we need an army, obviously. But at some point, and probably here in a few more turns here, we'll have to do something to get by those guys. And then we'll keep on trucking ourselves. Because that being a fort, we can't just bypass it. We do actually have to, like, actually go through that. And we can meet somebody else on the road up here. Or at least a set event, I should say. Or we can kill these two Vivvins. We can find this letter here. And that will give us a camp location to go meet someone at. Which I believe the camp is up there, yeah. That said, we can't quite get all the way there just yet. And Ninio, the wizard, has a side quest right there, which we'll probably do real quick.
Do not waver!
And then we are in a random encounter with a plagued horse and some ghouls. 2 plate horses. Nice.
We do it my way.
Yeah, so there's like a ruin right up here that we'll have to talk to Ninio to unlock. That's part of her little side quest. And then going any farther this way leads to Leper's Smile. We don't want to go there just yet. We want to have Regil with us if at all possible first.
We won't fall.
Which means
here.
we might be skipping some days to recruit more people to hopefully get past that garrison there.
This pain is excruciating. So this is how it feels.
A mere flesh wound.
Provided this Nabasi doesn't destroy us first.
I failed you, friends.
Why am I... No. Not like
Yeah,
this.
Nabasu can be a real pain. They're one of the better demons, if you will. Let's see. Okay, so we're gonna head to camp here, talk to Ninio, then bring her with us to that ruin that I know is there for her quest, but we haven't actually spoken to her yet, so it's not on our map just yet. Because for the people who are unaware, I think that'll be a fun revelation. Where is she? So she'll ask us, after talking to her the first time, to investigate the nameless ruins. And we just have to bring her with us while we go there. Drop. Probably So Seal. I don't think we'll need him much there. We'll level Ninio up real quick because we have not taken her with us the entire time. Which she should be auto-leveling for the most part, which we will probably let her do. And for her mythic ascendant element, thinking we're gonna go fire. Crossbow. Don't think I really have anything else to give her, to be honest. Need to sort out her spells real quick, though. Have everybody rest real quick. A unit serving Horgus Worm gave us a chest full of gold coins. That's nice. Doesn't actually tell you how many it gave, though. Alright, so now we're going to head to the Nameless Ruins, which is right here with Ninio. Until we hit another random encounter. And a scripted encounter, because it won't let you pass it. With the Skeletal Salesman. We'll see what he's got. You'll meet this guy a lot. He's just a random merchant you can run into. He was in Kingmaker as well. That said, I don't think we can afford much of what he's selling right now. Yeah, not really. Get rid of some hard junk, though. And then we're at the Nameless Ruin. So there are some fights you can get into here, especially if you go into this cave and these ghouls.
Waver.
I wonder if I can do that without hitting everybody. We'll see where everybody lands first. I don't want to just cast Fireball, to be honest. Not that it's strictly necessary. Nice.
Excruciating. So this is how it feels. So this is how it feels.
Alright, and then inside that cave is more ghouls, and then you can actually also find a hint to a puzzle up ahead of us, which we'll probably go ahead and try to do. The puzzle itself does not have a great reward, but you can find the answers to it just kind of hidden around the area. This is a pretty small map, all things considered. That said, I don't remember how many enemies are in here. So we're gonna save. That ends, and there's a group here. Plague Smilodon and somebody else, I thought.
Now what is that?
There's something here.
Perhaps, though.
I am yours to command. On your whim.
Turn our AI off and then try to
I'll rip you
pull him past the traps. Sorry, my selection tool's not wanting to cooperate though. There we go.
The Inheritor, guide my blade.
I was trying to move everybody and nobody wanted to move. And this thing's doing a ton of damage, so that's not a good way to
So
go.
this is how it feels.
Oh, could this happen?
Well. Good enough. Yeah, so there's the Hunt Master. I knew there was like a little ghoul in here somewhere. Alright, well that could have gone worse, all things considered. So we'll heal up and keep moving. I was trying to get the Smilodon to come past the traps, but it,
We'll make
like the
things
selection
right.
tool wasn't wanting to work, it kept clicking the wrong thing. Alright.
Yes.
Have her use Treat Affliction to cure her demon plague. Well, hopefully. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You might have to just save through that one. Ah, and then...
Open your heart to me.
I'm always ready.
Yes.
Yes.
We'll have
Well.
Camilla go stealth
trust
and try to
They will not expect my strike.
take these traps down before we aggro that ghoul.
I am helpful, am I not? I hope you
Alright, there we
appreciate this. I refuse to accept
Now,
your
by himself,
statement.
that Huntsmaster really shouldn't be much of a challenge. Oh, good grief. Okay. Now we will loot everything. We can get a recipe. Elven notes we can give the storyteller when we meet him again. Headband of Vast Intelligence will be useful, and so will that cloak. Then if we pass a will DC here,
Call me again if you need to.
we can grab some jewelry from that sacrificial altar. Alright, so we will give the ring to Sela to upgrade her 1. And we can grab you, give you an extra 1 as well. Upgrade your cloak. Give you a cloak. Intelligence. You wouldn't think it, but that intelligence is actually going to be great for our main character, because he gets a lot of bonuses from his intelligence being a sword saint. That is super handy for him. And if I'm not mistaken, there is a pack of ghouls in here,
I'll watch your back.
which we will use Animate Dead to help us out there. Yeah, there we go. So this happens sometimes with the ghouls, this like ridiculous animation bug. Like, that's a whole thing, I guess.
Where do you want
Alright,
me?
so we'll have her
No
attack.
match for me. We are the light. They
Let our
are the
skeletons
darkness.
aggro everybody and then kind of...
Strike!
There we go. Okay. Now this little thing on the wall here, that's the clue for the puzzle later. Chimpy asked if there's an option for turn-based. There is, I just don't have it turned on. Deal Wolf Strike asked how is it compared to Kingmaker. It's pretty good, I've enjoyed it quite a bit. I think it's honestly an improvement over Kingmaker in a lot of ways. So that's a little hint for the puzzle. And we will head back outside. Heal up a little bit. Using some of these basic potions we're honestly almost out of a use for. They've almost been obsolete since they don't heal quite that much. I believe there's at least one more fight as we come down here. Yeah, there it is.
Let's prove their logic is lacking.
Damn gargoyles. Wow, one of those hits Sela for literally 0. Nice. Engraved bracelet we can sell. That body can be looted. Just 6 gold though. Then we have a plagued bear.
Surrender! I won't let you hurt my friends!
And another plagued bear. That said, as intimidating as those look, they don't have a ton of health.
I am helpful, am I not?
Follow if you dare.
And I believe... Oh, trap. Disarm that.
I am helpful.
And
Am I not?
keep moving, which I believe the next part is the puzzle, yeah. I forget off the top of my head what the solution to this is, to be honest. There's like a hint in there, but it doesn't tell you all of it. But as you click it, it'll turn like that light blue color. And basically, you just have to put the right combination down and this wall will open up. That said, as I recall, there wasn't anything back there worth the effort. You just have to have the appropriate ones lit up. But offhand, I don't remember the solution, so we're going to keep it going. And we just need to take Ninio down to the bottom of the ruins here. If I can get the camera to cooperate. Alright.
I do what I must.
Yeah, so you're at like the bottom of a pit here, and because of the way the camera and the selection works, it can be a bit of a pain to get it to sort itself out. Alright, so here we're going to meet a bunch of strangers saying cryptic things like, I am the answer, but what is the question? And then Ninio and ourselves will touch this statue, which leads to this. A disembodied voice asking who we are.
I am Ninio. Ninio. You hear me? You voice from nowhere or whatever you are?
What's going on here? Nenio, is that you?
Who are you? Who are you? Speak up, or I'll gut you on the spot.
It appears your observation is correct. I am a kitsune. If my hypothesis is correct, and the probability of that is close to 100%, I have always been a kitsune, but at some point I decided to forget that piece of knowledge. Following this line of reasoning, it would seem the fact of my membership of a certain race just doesn't seem relevant to me. Also, there is a more important question. Why did my true identity reveal itself in this precise moment? This question is irrelevant in the current situation. If you wish, you can ask me about it later. If you believe that I've been keeping my true identity a secret on purpose, you are mistaken. I have no interest in your causes, your battles, or your secrets, if you have any. All I need from you is your assistance with my experiments. And with this. I suppose it was a trap that yanked our minds out of our plane and temporarily transferred us to another one. I wish I knew which plane. By the way, did you know that the most efficient way to disarm a corridor's worth of magical traps is with the help of a scientist who has been told that the formula for an elixir of the ancient races lies hidden at the end of said booby-trapped corridor? I haven't the slightest idea. But it is most definitely an extremely wise entity. Besides, the entity displayed no aggressive tendencies, which gives us hope that it can be reasoned with. The voice in the emptiness asked me, and judging by your reaction, you too, who I am. And merely stating my name failed to satisfy it. The trap then forced me to assume my true form, which I had completely forgotten about. I suppose
I suppose this trap wasn't a trap per se. It rather was a closed portal leading to some hidden place that can easily unveil secrets and reveal the truth. The one who spoke to us seemed to solve me like a riddle, in an instant, just by looking at me. I would like to meet this entity. Can you imagine which secrets it can unravel? I want to speak to it, and you, my follower, must help me.
So, a stranger is capable of uncovering all your secrets with a single glance? I wouldn't wish to meet such a person. I wouldn't appreciate such a blatant invasion of my privacy.
But how can you get there? If there is a door, there must be a way to open it. If there's a lock, there must be a key to it. There is an inscription here, right on the statue. I am the void and the emptiness. I am the starting point. I am infinite. Tear my mask off and let it fall at my feet. I don't understand this at all. How thrilling! It does. It really does. I love riddles and puzzles. I don't think they can help us. Looks like all they can do is mumble their mantra about questions and answers. I'm not sure at all, but we must try. We simply must. Getting there and talking with this entity will be the greatest of my experiments. No exaggeration. The world wound is dangerous. Walking under a hanging icicle is dangerous. Even choking on a chunk of badly chewed food can lead to a fatal outcome after all. Living is dangerous. But what is danger compared to knowledge? Each of them is inscribed with a riddle, and each demands that something be placed at its feet. I guess we need some items that represent the answers to these riddles. But don't ask me where we should look for them. With deepest regret, I have to admit that you are right. It's highly unlikely that we'll be able to solve this riddle right here and now. We'll have to temporarily withdraw so we can return when we're armed and ready.
And that pretty much sums that up. So, Nenio is, of course, actually a kitsune. Or a kitsune. Everybody gets on me about pronunciations. Oh, there's the other hint to the puzzle. But what you have to do is interact with those statues, and then if you have the appropriate item, it'll let you place it at the statue's feet. That said, I don't have any of those items right now.
A bright future awaits us.
Yeah. But I think that is what we're going to call it right this second. Next thing we got to do is probably just skip a bunch of days in the Crusade to get more troops up so we can get past that gargoyle garrison so we can go get our other companion, Regil, before we head to Leper's Smile. And if I don't call it any sooner than this, I think my cat's going to freak out about not being fed. So, with that out of the way, guys, truly, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube jazz. But regardless of any of that, thank you so much for watching, and may you have an amazing day.